Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again, and welcome to The Roads with Belle. Today is November 21st, and today we're going to talk about the roads to ruining Thanksgiving. This is a long-running series on the channel where we take your questions about what you're concerned about having to deal with over Thanksgiving with your families and give you some information and strategies. First, when engaging with relatives, you always have to determine your goal. Do you want to just get through the meal? Do you want to try to change their mind? Or do you just want to let them know you're not going to listen to it and have the long drawn-out argument? So, you have to figure out the goals. If you're going to try to change their minds, stay calm, be empathetic, and go slowly. Remember, a lot of them were lied to. Okay, how do I deal with a family member who responds to anything that the government does by saying, that isn't the government job? From welfare or healthcare to arts and education. That's always his answer for anything that is even remotely progressive. People with this stance generally have it based on a conservative talking point, limited government. But, as you said, that only gets applied to progressive ideas. This talking point is generally used by people who say they love the Constitution, but have never read it. Depending on your conversation goals, you might want to start by asking why he hates the Constitution. Then point him to Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, specifically the part about promoting the general welfare at the beginning and the necessary and proper clause near the end. If a state consents to a sale of land to the federal government and the feds put a free hospital as a, quote, needful building, well, then it's literally in the Constitution. This section will help in a lot of conversations about scope of government. Are you doing the ruin Thanksgiving dinner thing this year? If so, how do I explain tariffs to my family? Well, Impartial Points has a basic explainer. Maybe that would help if they'd watch it. The other option is to ask them how much they would charge for an item that cost $100 to produce. Then, ask them what they would charge for an item that cost $160 to produce. Then, explain the difference in their answer would be the difference if Trump enacted his promised 60% tariffs. You could also explain that because of the higher price for the imported item, domestic companies can raise their prices too and still be competitive. I'm going to Thanksgiving. I don't want to hear my brother about mandates. Got anything to shut him down? They're still counting votes. But Trump right now has 1.7% lead in the popular vote. That isn't a mandate. It's barely majority support. My dad, who literally never goes to church and never took us as kids, keeps posting about how it's great that schools are putting Christianity back in schools. When I bring up the freedom of religion, he says it's freedom of religion, not freedom from religion. It's both, actually. The First Amendment has 2 clauses about religion. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Free exercise lets you practice your religion. The Establishment Clause stops the government from having a national religion or showing favoritism. For whatever reason, my dad is still on the price of eggs. I guess I should be grateful because it seems like he's paying less attention to the right-wing outrage machine. Do you have a good argument about why this wasn't Biden's fault? this isn't really an argument. This is education. The current price of eggs comes a tiny bit from inflationary pressure, but mostly due to avian flu and a lack of competition as things have consolidated in the industry. Call it Big Ag, because suddenly the party run by establishment billionaires is against big industry. The last thing is that people continue to buy them at the elevated price. That means consumers are telling egg companies that the market will bear a higher price than they previously believed. My parents have invited a neighbor to Thanksgiving because they feel bad for him, because his kids won't talk to him after he disowned one of them for being gay. I'm gay. My parents know. Why should I have to put up with him? I've been around him before. He's such a hateful man. I don't have a question. I just need one of the straights to tell me it's okay to just not go. It's okay to just not go. Hey, I actually have an Uncle Bob, but it's actually my cousin Bob Jr. that's going to be the issue. He keeps sending me messages about how what the liberals don't understand is that Trump won and gets the cabinet that he wants. He's yelling all over Facebook about it too. I know it's going to come up. Help, I really just want him to shut up. This is definitely going to be a constitutional Thanksgiving. Article 2, Section 2 this time. So, start by asking him why he hates the Constitution. Then go on to read that section aloud, emphasizing the part about advice and consent. You might need to explain what consent is. Trump winning literally does not give him the cabinet of his choice constitutionally. Then, I'd point out that it isn't Democrats that are the deciding votes here. It's Republicans that are expressing concern. You'll probably get into recess appointments as well. That's Article 2, Section 3. Then, you'll need the Supreme Court decision, NLRB v. Noel Cannon. Just the wiki should give you what you need, but be sure to look at Scalia's concurrence. My mom keeps saying the Department of Education needs to go because of the test scores and the woke curriculum. My mom is calling things woke. I'm so embarrassed. It doesn't have your state, but the curriculum is not put together by the Federal Department of Education. It's put together by the state and local officials. That also impacts test scores. Tell her that obviously it's not because curriculums went woke, because they weren't woke in her day, and she doesn't understand federalism and who does what. Or maybe don't say that part to your mom. That might be a bit much. I already ruined Thanksgiving this year. I just can't be around some of my family. These are people who will gloat that I won't get student debt relief, that my kids will now get a substandard education, and that one of my daughter's friends is having to move to another state because she's trans. Last year, one of them called her a name I'm pretty sure you can't say on YouTube. I wasn't dealing with it again, so I told them we weren't coming. They said I was letting politics come between the family. But it's not politics to me. It's simple morality. Why would I want to be around people who are happy bad things happen to me and my kids and voted for it to happen? I was going to ask how to explain that, but I don't need it. That's just what I'm going to say. Hey, thanks for having this for us to vent to. Can you just remind people that they don't actually have to go to things and subject their kids to people who want bad things for them? So, there's that. Okay, and that looks like it. So until next time, a little more information and a little more context, and having the right information will make all the difference. Y'all have a good day.